Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Arjan Singh. I'm currently the president of Gurudwara Sahib Sramban. Just to share a bit of background of our Gurudwara Sahib. Gurudwara Sahib Sramban was established in 1905 by our forefathers who came into this town. Then later in 1966, we came up with a new complex, Gurudwara Sahib Sramban, new building. And till today, we are still in the same location in Sramban. We are right in the heart of the town in Sramban. It's a walking distance away from the main bus station, and it's actually right in the center of Sramban town. Okay, we were basically approached here in Sramban to address a few things regarding our Sikh community, basically in Sramban, and some of the concepts being used in Sikh religion. Right. First thing I would like to elaborate about the concept of seva. Right. How do we actually reflect? What does it mean to be the word seva in Sikh religion? Seva is actually the core foundation of Sikh religion. Right. It has been explained many times in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, the concept of seva. Example, if we say Satguru ki seva safal hai, cheko kre chitlai, Man Chindia Fal Pavana Homme Vicho Jai. It basically means that if you are doing the seva of the Guru, you're doing the seva of any type, any source, what is important that you must always remain humble, right? You must always do it without expecting anything in return, without hoping to get any kind of reward. So it is very important that it is being done without expecting anything in return, basically. So the concept of seva, as I was saying, is the core, is the foundation of the Sikh religion. Right? Why is it important? Because seva teaches you to be humble. Right? It instills in us the values of truth and truthful living, brings in the compassion in us, right? Contentment, and most importantly, it eradicates the ego. Homme vicho jai. Sikh religion believes that we are all children of the same God. We are all equal. Be it from different religion, all of us are the same. There is no one that is superior to the other. Right? It helps us. Seva helps us to inculcate the habit of oneness, togetherness, and equality. Even our gurus, especially from the times of Guru Nanak, Guruji himself actually set example of seva. When Guru Angad approached Guru Nanak, Guruji did seva for Guru Angad. Even when Guru Ardaas did seva for Guru Angad for 10 to 12 years before Guru Ardaas himself became a seva. Guru Arjan himself also used to do the seva of the Sikhs who used to come and visit Guruji during his times when Guruji was the fifth Guru of the Sikhs. So the concept of seva actually has been given a lot of prominence. It is very, very important. It's a beginning. It's a beginning of doing anything in our religion actually. So seva is service to all, service to mankind. Not only service to the Sikhs, not only service to the Guru, but service to humanity. Today we can see there are a lot of Sikh bodies. If I may quote a few, we have got Khalsa Aid, who is doing a wonderful seva, who have done so much of service, basically in Greek, in Europe, in the UK during the floods, and wherever if you see there's a disaster in the world, you will see that Khalsa Aid is there. We also have United Sikhs, right, who have also done a lot of seva throughout the world, and they are still continuing to do to anywhere wherever they are needed. Even in Malaysia today, they are also helping to raise funds for various purposes, not only for the Sikhs but for the non-Sikhs as well. We also have in Malaysia our Gurpuri Foundation, which is, I would say, is an orphanage. It also practices the concept of seva, where there is upbringing of children of orphanages or those with single parents and things like this. So Sikhs, whatever we do, the core, the beginning, the entry, I would say, is always based on the concept of seva. So in Sri Guru Granth Sahib, there's a lot of examples that have been given. The importance of doing seva. It helps you to eradicate or to minimize your ego, right? You do not expect anything in return, and most importantly, you must do it from the heart. Right? We cannot expect to do seva and hope that we get something in return. That is not the actual concept of seva. Moving on from seva, we also like to touch the issue of why is Gurmukhi important, right? As we know that Gurmukhi is the word of, if you say it's words uttered from the mouth of the Guru himself. Some of us, we get a bit mixed up. What's the difference between Gurmukhi and Punjabi? Yeah, Gurmukhi is, I would say, the script. It's a script of Punjabi. Just like Devanagari is the script for Hindi language. For the Punjabi language, the script is Gurmukhi. Gurmukhi has got 35 letters, 6 consonants and 9 vowels. It's very important. Even during the times of Guru Nanak Sahib, the key language used at that point in time was the language of Sanskrit. Right? Sanskrit, they call it Dev Bhasha. Dev Bhasha was actually, it was more on a high level, but Guruji practiced more of Punjabi, which is a Lok Bhasha. L-O-K and Lok Bhasha, I mean to say, is the language of the masses. Something that is used by most people, and Guruji used this to actually spread the message of God, spread the message of oneness, spread the message of equality, humility. Right? That was the teachings of Guru Nanak. As I was saying that Gurmukhi is actually the script of Punjabi, right? Punjabi is spoken, Gurmukhi is explained, right? Gurmukhi is, I would say, is an entry point. Is an entry point into understanding reading Sri Guru Granth Sahib. It's very, very important. If you do not understand how to read Gurmukhi, you will not be able to read Guru Granth Sahib. Yes, today we have Romanized versions of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, but then again, my personal opinion, at times there is a difference in pronunciation, there's a difference in understanding of Sri Guru Granth Sahib if we do not entirely read it in Gurmukhi. Punjabi, as we know it, Punjabi is a language, is a Indo-Aryan language, right? Punjabi. It's a mixture of many languages that came right from Middle East those days, from Egypt and in Iraq and Iran and so on. So it was a language that was actually was modified. Right? Gurmukhi was further established by our Guru Nanak Dev Ji during his times of from 1502 to roughly from 1502 to 1542. Right? The times of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guruji actually further introduced the importance of Gurmukhi, and this was actually later used by the other gurus when we actually came up with our Sri Guru Granth Sahib. During the times of Guru Nanak, it was not, Gurmukhi wasn't there. Guru Nanak's time was, the spoken was Punjabi, but when we talk about script in Gurmukhi, it was time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Today we all know that Punjabi is the 4th most spoken language in the world, right? It is gaining prominence. It is spoken widely in the areas of Pakistan and northern India, and I would say today almost every part of the world, right, Punjabi is spoken, right? If you talk about the United States, Europe, in Asia, right, and even if you go to some of the countries, even in Eastern Europe, right, if you talk about countries like Poland and so on, you have gurdwaras there. So these are the places where Punjabi is gaining prominence. Even if I'm not wrong, today Punjabi is the 3rd official language of the country of Canada. So with Guruji's blessings and grace, this language is gaining prominence, and hopefully it will get more, so that it will be spoken more widely and understood by more. Thirdly, we also move to the concept of youths these days, right? Why are the youth shying away from the Gurdwara? The youth of today, if we talk about those in the ages of 25 to 40, we call them the Gen Y. Those who were born in the years of 1981 to 1996 to year 2000. These are the Gen Ys. This generation, I would call them a very special generation. Why? This is the first generation to have access to internet, to handphones, and to digital kind of communication. This generation, if you talk, even in their house today, even in their houses, I would say that they have a bit of a gap even with their parents and so on. I would say a bit of a generation gap. Why? Because the upbringing and basically they were exposed to a lot of other things. They want to become more autonomous these days. They want to become more creative. They want to become more independent. And whatever they do, they always seek for the reward. What is the outcome? Why are these youths today shying away from the Gurdwara. My personal experience is not only the Gurdwara side, but youth in most religions today, right? If they are not forced to, they shy away from mixing with a lot of their older generation, or even going to the places of worship. Okay, looking at the issues why they are staying away, or how can we actually bring them closer to the Gurdwara, I would think that we should get inclusiveness. We need to get them to be involved in Gurdwara activities. One of the things we are looking at, probably empowerment. We need to empower them. I remember that sometimes, these youths gets told off by some of the seniors in the Gurdwara and things like that, or their opinions are not taken into consideration. What their views, it is not taken seriously. So it's time that the older generation, especially in Gurdwaras, you need to give more space to these youths so that they can even express themselves, and they want their views to be heard. If it's not implemented, doesn't matter, they want it to be heard and acted upon. At the same time, we in Gurdwara side also, we need to delegate more responsibilities, right, to this group of youth. I would call them the Gen Y and probably the millennials, right? Empower them, delegate more duties, responsibilities to them. One of the key things that I would also think is that we need to engage them, right? Once we engage this youth, basically you can see them that they will bring out ideas, right? They bring out ideas. They want things. They want fast results, right? Because they are from the times of digital. They are from in the social media. They have got handphones. They got internet. This group of people are those that who want to have things moving fast. They do not procrastinate, if I would say it correctly. So what the other thing we can do is basically we also need to review in Gurdwara side. As far as I can remember, from the day I was young, the programs in the Gurdwara is still very routine. Right? Again, does the kirtan, then we do the part and so on. But probably it's time that we need to revisit and review the way we do things. Probably we can have programs where we can get this youth to be involved, get them to run the program, and give them more, I would say, space, right, so that they can do certain things their way, but as long as it is within the tenets of Sikh religion. Very important. You must be guided by certain rules, so that they come in and express themselves. So this is the issues of the youth today. And the other thing I would say that to some extent, the issue between this generation, this Gen Ys, the millennials, compared to the earlier generation, is also could be the language barrier, right? They speak a lot of, they don't speak Punjabi, or some of them, they don't even understand the basic explanations in Punjabi. While in Tere, in Darbar Sahib, we do have a screen which explains the meaning of when the Granthi Ji is doing the kirtan. But then again, if you have two-way kind of engagement, right, two-way kind of conversation, we need to actually also cater, right, to some extent, speaking of language which can be understood by all. Then slowly we can actually pull them and bring them back to understand and appreciate what's being done in the Darbar set, in the Gurdwara set for them actually. So that is as far as the youth are concerned. It's very important because a lot of the youth of today involved in activities which are not so healthy, right? It takes them, away from the Gurdwara, and actually it's not very good for the community at large. But we really hope that with all Gurdwaras in the country, I'm talking about the context of Malaysia, will actually do more so that we can bring in the youth, and together with working with Sikh Naujawan Sabha Malaysia, we hope to have more activities so that we can actually attract back the youth to come to the Gurdwara side and get involved in the activities. Finally, I would think that another issue that was being asked was, as a Sikh, what have I actually learned from my parents? The Sikh parents of yesteryears, I would say, my parents came from India in the 1930s, and with them they brought a lot of teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Most parents or Sikhs who came to Malaysia in the late 19th century or the early 1900s, they were very much guided, or their lives evolved around Sri Guru Granth Sahib. If you look at a lot of Gurdwaras which are built in this country were actually in the early 1900s or the mid 1900s. which were built by our Sikhs, our forefathers who came from India. Gurudwara Sahib was the nucleus of their life. Anything, any activity, social or religious, was always being done in Gurudwara Sahib. So, to me personally, what have I learned from my parents? My parents, Bhai Arjan Singh, my father, and Mata Gurudev Kaur, both of them are no longer with us today. But they lived a life of discipline. They acted whatever they preached, they acted and they practiced whatever they preached. Their life basically was on the three fundamentals of the Sikh religion, which is Naam Japana, reciting the name of Vaheguru, Vandake Shakana, share what little you have to share it out, and Dharamti Kirat Karni, whatever you earn is from your honest living. So my late father, my mother always spoke about equality in all, right, among not only among the religions, among the races, but also equality between a man and a woman, as being preached by Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Late father used to work very hard, right, and again he followed very strictly the teachings and guidance of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Honest living, whatever you earn, you must earn through the honest way, the right way. And the other one, that he always encourages us to save some time throughout the day to say your prayer, to always be in contentment, and always be in the mode of shukrana, and always be in the mode of thanksgiving. Whatever little we have, you must always thank Vaheguru that we are given the opportunity. We are given the opportunity to come to Gurudwara, to do seva, and also to do the best in whatever we do. Parents were very particular about doing seva in the Gurudwara. Said each time when you're in the Gurudwara, do seva first before you can even take part in the hunger and so on. Very particular about things like these, right? Equality, respect for the elders, and respect not only for the elders but even for the youngsters. They always used to, my late father used to always say that respect must be earned. You do not demand your respect. So this is some of the basic teachings, guidance which my late parents shared with not only me, with my siblings. And I would say that even the early years, the parents of our friends, right, our neighbors, those from our same community, they took care of each and every one of us like their own children, right? They cared for us. I would say the good busybody type, you see, they always cared for every children in the society, in the community. And even if you can see that those days, if there were weddings in the Sikh families, you can see that everybody goes in to help, right? This to some extent is actually from the concept of seva, whereby you help each other, and this actually prospered the community. If I would have go back to the concept of seva which I shared earlier, seva is done in three forms, from man, tana and dana. Mana is from your mind, right? If you have got some of us are actually a bit more fortunate to have more experience in certain areas. So if you do a seva, you can teach the rest. Probably teaching others to do kirtan, you are teaching others to understand and read Sri Guru Granth Sahib, right? And even other areas of expertise which you have. So that is from the basic of, from the concept of mana. Then if you talk about tana is physical seva. Physical seva means service to humanity, helping the poor, the needy, coming to the Gurudwara Sahib to do seva, and partake in the langar seva, and cleaning of the Gurudwara Sahib. So that is tana. And finally the seva of dana, that is material. Those of us who are fortunate to have extra, you can always contribute back to your community, and those in need. So coming back to the in my closing, I would basically say that Sikh religion is built on the foundation of seva, compassion to all living beings, equality, right, and always remain humble. Doing with all these will help us to eradicate ego, right? And because Sikh religion, I would say the teachings of Sri Guru Granth Sahib is basically is a universal teaching, is for everyone. Sri Guru Granth Sahib, which incorporates the teachings of even saints from the Hindu religion, from the Muslim religion, right, from our gurus. It is not only for Sikhs, it is for everyone. It doesn't force us, doesn't compel us, but it's always built on the concept of being humble, no ego, right, and treat everyone as one. Basically, that is what I've got to share. I must say that these views which I have shared is basically my own, doesn't represent the views of the committee of Gurudwara Sahib Seremban or anyone out there. And I really hope that this actually, we all the Gurudwaras in Malaysia will work together and bring out more ways and means that we can bring the youth back to the Gurudwara, have more activities, engagement activities, right? Not only social but even religious, so that as a community we can move forward, contribute to this country, contribute to the nation where we are living, right? We have a responsibility not only towards our religion, our community, we have responsibility towards our country and the king. So with that, I will end my views, and I hope that I have not offended anyone in my few minutes of views. And with that, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.